Another option for creating presentations is Google Draw. Google Draw is awesome because it's a Google product. Everybody has access, no account creation necessary, and it's safe for even our youngest students. So I'm going to briefly go over how to access Google Draw and a little bit about how to use it and some ideas for how your students might use it to create presentations. Okay, so I've navigated back over to my Google Drive so that I can go ahead and find Google Draw. So I'm just in my Drive home screen. I'm going to go click my New button. Then I'm going to go past Docs, Sheets, and Slides to More, and then I'm going to look for Google Drawings. And I'm just going to click on it, and it'll pop open just like this. So what this is a canvas. It's kind of like a Google Doc, except for it's a canvas for drawing. You can do all sorts of things with this. You can insert shapes. You can type inside the shapes. You can import images from elsewhere on the web. You can insert images just like you can on a Google Doc. So you could search for something and go ahead and just pop it right in. Um, so many possibilities with Google Drawing, and I'll show you some of the more fancy possibilities after you have seen a couple of the tools. Just like Docs, you can share Google Drawings with the link. So you can get the shareable link for your drawing. You can have two kids working on a drawing at the same time, which is amazing, and collaborating to create something that they might present or share with other students. One trick that I want to share with you that I've learned from using Google Draw is how to resize the canvas and how to change the background from those kind of checkered lines. So first we'll start with changing the background. There's no real background fill button, but what you can do is take a shape, cover up the entirety of the canvas, fill it with whatever you want, and then we're going to right click and send that shape to the very back so it's behind the other shapes and it becomes the background. I also want to talk about resizing this canvas. So I'm going to take that background out just so you can see our canvas is pretty small. It's not optimal if we're doing something larger or we want to make a timeline, and you can actually resize that. I'm going to show you where to find it. You need to navigate to File, Page Setup. It'll be defaulting to standard. You want to go down to Custom, and then you can play with the sizing here. So let's say I want it to be really quite long. Oh, that's long and skinny. So there's a tall and skinny. Let's say I want it to be more wide. I can continue to play around and adjust my width and my height till I get the canvas size that is best for my project. So that is an option on there. You can also insert tables. Everything you can do on a Google Doc, you can do on a Google Drawing. You can hyperlink things. So let's say I wanted to add links on here. I could do that as well. I can link images by clicking on the image, clicking on the link button, and pasting the link. So you can really make smart presentations that have embedded resources within them with Google Draw. I'd like to show you how templates might be used for Google Draw as well. So this is a sample of a template that we doctored up. So the template was just this line you see running down the middle with the years, and it was called timeline drawing. That was pushed out to others who were able to go File, Make a Copy, then they already had the line, they already had the year, and they could just add in their content. So in this case, the user added phones over the past 40 years. So making a template for the drawing is a nice shortcut so kids won't be wasting time making the perfect line or setting up the years. You can do that for them, and then it'll save them a little bit of time when they're creating their presentation. Here's another example of a template. It's called the Power of Words Talk and Take Action. So in this scenario, the students were asked to develop words for a bully versus what they might say. So in this scenario, the thought bubbles and the people are waiting here on the side. So a younger student can just drag over the person that represents them, drag over the speech bubble, and then fill those out. Then the student could turn to their neighbor, present to the class, explain to somebody else what they've come up with here on the Google drawing. One more template for you is this animal cell template. This is really cool. This is a picture of an animal cell, and it just has some vocabulary words related to an animal cell on here. So if you're trying to get your students to practice more with speaking versus just reading off of a slide, this is a great way to do it. They've got their vocabulary cues and they've got their diagram, and they can stand and point, and they've got some cues to use, but they have to do the explaining in spoken word. So one more idea for using Google Draw to present. Hopefully you've learned some ideas for how to use templates, how to get kids using Google Draw, or maybe you have some ideas for how you could use drawing yourself to display content to your students when you're presenting. Thanks for watching.